Mjadala mkali umeibuka tena Jumatano hii katika bunge la Marekani wakati wa bunge walipomkosoa mkurugenzi wa ujasusi wa kitaifa Tulsi Gabbard kuhusu uvujaji wa mawasiliano ya siri kwenye grupu la Signal linalojumuisha maafisa waandamizi wa serikali ya Marekani. Mazungumzo hayo ambayo kwa bahati mbaya yalimjumuisha mwanahabari mmoja yalikuwa yakijadili mipango ya mashambulizi ya kijeshi dhidi ya wanamgambo wa Wahouthi nchini Yemen. Akitoa ushahidi mbele ya kamati ya ujasusi ya bunge Jumatano hii, Gabbard amesisitiza kuwa uhusiano wa mwanahabari huyo kwenye mazungumzo hayo ulikuwa ni makosa na kwamba ingawa mazungumzo hayo yalikuwa ya wazi na nyeti, hakuna taarifa za siri zilizowekwa. Alieleza kuwa Baraza la Usalama wa Taifa litafanya uchunguzi wa kina na wataalamu wa kiufundi kuhusu jinsi mwanahabari huyo alivyoweza kuingizwa kwenye grupu hilo. Gabbard pia alieleza kuwa programu ya Signal huwekwa moja kwa moja kwenye vifaa rasmi vya serikali na kunukuu mwongozo kutoka kwa wakala wa usalama wa mtandao CISA uliopendekeza matumizi ya programu hiyo kutokana na ulinzi wake wa mawasiliano kutoka mwisho hadi mwisho. Alikiri kuwa mazungumzo kama hayo yanapaswa kufanywa ana kwa ana, lakini hali ya dharura wakati mwingine hulazimu matumizi ya mawasiliano ya kidigitali yenye usalama. Mbunge wa chama cha Democratic Jim Himes alimuuliza Gabbard kuhusu ujumbe mpya uliochapishwa na The Atlantic ambao unaonesha mipango kamili ya mashambulizi, aina za ndege na muda wa mashambulizi. Gabbard alijibu kuwa hakukumbuka maelezo hayo alipotoa ushahidi wake awali mbele ya Senate. Sikuhusika moja kwa moja na sehemu hiyo ya mazungumzo ya Signal, alisema, akieleza kuwa alichangia zaidi mwishoni mwa mjadala huo. Sikukumbuka maelezo kamili yaliyokuwa yamewekwa. Pia alitaja kuwa kuna kesi mpya mahakamani kuhusu grupu hilo la Signal, jambo ambalo linamzuia kujadili baadhi ya mambo kwa kina.
The President and National Security Advisor Waltz held a press conference yesterday with a clear message. It was a mistake that a reporter was inadvertently added to a Signal chat with high-level national security principals having a policy discussion about imminent strikes against the Houthis and the effects of the strike. National Security Advisor has taken full responsibility for this, and the National Security Council is conducting an in-depth review along with technical experts working to determine how this reporter was inadvertently added to this chat. The conversation was candid and sensitive, but as the President National Security Advisor stated, no classified information was shared. There were no sources, methods, locations, or war plans that were shared. This was a standard update to the National Security Cabinet that was provided alongside updates that were given to foreign partners in the region. The Signal Message app comes pre-installed on government devices. In December of 2024, CISA stated, quote, "We strongly urge highly targeted individuals to immediately review and apply best practices provided in the guidance to protect mobile communications, including consistent use of end-to-end encryption." And they named Signal as an app as an example of such an end-to-end encrypted messaging app. Ideally, these conversations occur in person. However, at times, fast-moving coordination of an unclassified nature is necessary, where in-person conversation is not an option. I'm also aware that a lawsuit was filed yesterday on this issue. As a result of that pending litigation, I'm limited in my ability to comment further on that specific case. My Office of General Counsel will be in close contact with the Department of Justice on this matter.
As the chairman said, this hearing is an important opportunity for our committee and the American people to hear directly from the senior leadership of the intelligence community about the threats that our nation faces. I read the unclassified report, and I found a lot of continuity in the IC's assessment about critical threats to our national security compared to last year's assessment. The IC continues to see threats from our principal adversaries, China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. I must say, though, that after these last 2 months, I'm worried that the call may be coming from inside the House. This report calls Russia, and I quote, "an enduring potential threat to U.S. power, presence, and global interests." But as far as I can tell, we're now on Team Kremlin. We vote with them and against our allies in the United Nations. We humiliate President Zelensky in the Oval Office. The president's chief Russian negotiator, Steve Witkoff, is repeating Russian talking points and participating on a madcap signal chat about an attack on Yemen while inside Russia. USAID is gone, and with it, all American soft power. If I had time, I would ask the generals at this table about what it means to our national security to give up our soft power. We're no longer helping struggling nations in Africa. China, or worse, terrorists, are filling the vacuum. I wonder how many of those African countries will be named in next year's threat assessment. Thanks to DOJ, the men we paid to guard the most vicious ISIS terrorists in the world in Syria walked off the job. You think we'll see their names in this document next year? Elon Musk fired the people who maintain our nuclear weapons. Does that feel like a threat to you? Apparently, all of this mayhem is cheered by the President of the United States and by 20-somethings with laptops and nicknames like Big Balls. But I've been doing this for a long time, and I know that Moscow and Beijing and Tehran and Pyongyang cannot believe their luck. Now we come to learn that people in the most dangerous and sensitive jobs on the planet put extremely specific pre-decisional discussions about a military attack on signal, which could be intercepted by the Russians and the Chinese. Everyone here knows that the Russians or the Chinese could have gotten all of that information, and they could have passed it on to the Houthis, who easily could have repositioned weapons and altered their plans to knock down planes or sink ships. I think that it's by the awesome grace of God that we are not mourning dead pilots right now. The two general officers sitting at the table and the people who work for all of you know that if they had set up and participated in the signal chat, they would be gone. And they know that there's only one response to a mistake of this magnitude. You apologize, you own it, and you stop everything until you can figure out what went wrong and how it might not ever happen again. That's not what happened. The Secretary of Defense responded with a brutal attack on the reporter who did not ask to be on the signal chain. Yesterday, our former colleague Mike Waltz did the same in the White House and then went on Fox to call Jeff Goldberg a loser. What do you think the people who work for you are seeing and learning from that? Now, except for that last part, almost all of the mayhem slowly eroding our safety, our standing, and our security in the world has largely happened outside the IC. If you had a part in that, and I suspect you did, I thank you. I'll say it now and I'll say it again every time we see each other over the next couple of years. You must protect the thousands of patriots who go to work every day under you to keep us safe. You need to go to work every day thinking about their morale, their well-being, and their protection. I've done intelligence oversight for more than a decade. It's my job to ask you the tough questions and maybe even make you uncomfortable. John, I don't ever walk through your lobby and look at those 140 stars on the wall without choking up over the fact that men and women far better than I will give their lives to keep us safe. There's about a dozen people in this room who know all their stories, and you know and I know that many of the men and women who have stars on that wall died because of bad decisions or poor judgment by their leaders. We've all worked together before, and recent events notwithstanding, we need you to succeed. Your people and our safety requires you to succeed. I really hope you do. But let me say now that if some overcaffeinated 20-year-old succeeds in firing your linguists, or your mathematicians, or your paramilitary officers, if you shut down some unit because Steve Bannon or Seb Gorka doesn't like it, America will be less safe, and people will get hurt. And I and this committee and history will be very unkind.
Attention! Your potential customers are watching this video. Don't miss out on the opportunity to reach them. Advertise your business alongside their favorite content and convert them into loyal customers. Contact us now at info@snstz.com or WhatsApp 0659250389 to amplify your brand to the SNS family.